right, so it's that time. Today I'll be reviewing House of the Dragon. This is a spin off series of Game of Thrones, and let's just get straight into it. So, this is easily one of the best shows of the year, and this is probably one of the best spin offs I've ever seen. Um, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I will in the future, hopefully, but I really had no idea what to, look for the show. I had no idea what happened after this because apparently this is a prequel to Game of Thrones. So, um, yeah, but I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I really didn't know what was gonna happen, and who anyone was. But anyways, all right. So I'm gonna start with the good stuff. The acting was great by about everyone, especially both actresses playing Rhaenyra, and Matt Smith, who played Damien, was really good. I was a little skeptical about him because of his last role which I reviewed, which him was being Milo in Morbius, but surprisingly he was really good and one of my favorites in the entire show. And him at first being sort of like a Loki character, being mischievous, was probably the best thing about him. He kind of fell off the last couple episodes. Yeah, I really didn't. He wasn't really that much involved, but nevertheless, he was great. The king in the show, King Viserys. I hope I'm saying that right. King Viserys. Yeah. Yeah, he should be in discussion for an Oscar because dude was amazing and made me scared at points when he was angry, and just overall was very compelling. So that guy's acting was just amazing. Also, he was in Hot Fuzz, which I love that movie. Um, the atmosphere was great. I mean, it really just looked like something like out of the Northman. Both Northman and this had great like medieval type atmosphere. And the CGI was okay at times. It does get boring when the main setting is always in one castle for the most part, but the fact the people who made this could make me interested in like a political type show, really kudos to them. Political meaning like who would be king and who would sit on the Iron Throne and all that jazz, not Republican and Democrat. Um, Now, onto the things I didn't like, which honestly is not very much, but okay, so back to the CGI. The dragons looked meh. They weren't like horrible, but I would think that the word dragon in your title would have the dragons look better, but it wasn't bringing the show down at all. It just was like very obviously fake. Um, but it wasn't a horrible thing about the show. Really minor detail. Um, the main thing I've been seeing is the change in actors. A lot of people have been talking about this. I do at first didn't really like how the two main characters were changed to people who really didn't look like the like really didn't look like the younger versions of them. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The older versions did not look like the younger versions that were like grown up. So, but I will say that I kind of get why the people behind the show did that, because if you told me these two kids were going to be in power, sorry, jeez, and both like were strong female characters that were like scary and were like in charge of this entire um, world, I guess. I'd probably tell you that you're like smoking crack because there's no way. Um, their acting wasn't bad, but I do think their replacements definitely did a lot better job at playing like a grown up part instead of them just putting on makeup to make them look older. And I'm also glad the Queen Hightower got replaced because I was not digging who was playing her before she got switched. At halfway through the show, I didn't like the amount of years that were being jumped and the amount of characters, which kind of made the episodes with that happening confusing for me. At least trying to still figure out who everyone is and which parent this kid belongs to, but I'm glad it fizzled out. The ending wasn't stellar, but I do believe they are doing a second season, so it is serviceable right now as a part one. Um, all in all, there really isn't much to complain about. This was definitely one of the surprises of the year. I honestly didn't know about the show till it came out and thought The Rings of Power would be much better, but no, wasn't. And I won't be reviewing Rings of Power because I honestly haven't watched a second of the show, and I really don't care. The show for me was a 9 out of 10. There weren't really too much problems, and when there were, they were very minor, and the show corrected itself. So that's about it. Please like and subscribe, and goodbye.